Hi, my name's Nick O'Leary and I work for IBM's Emerging Technologies group, and I want to give you a quick introduction to a tool we've created called Node-RED. Node-RED is a visual tool for wiring together the Internet of Things. We recognise the fact that IoT solutions combine streams of data from many different sources, whether it's physical events in the real world, whether it's digital events, social events, whatever it may be. And having tools that let you really quickly combine those streams in different ways to explore what you can do with them is a really powerful tool to have. When you start Node-RED, you get this view in your web browser. With its palette of nodes down the left-hand side, you can quickly start dragging nodes on, wiring them together, and hitting deploy to create your application. Here is a very simple application with an inject node and a debug node that whenever I hit the inject, a message appears in the debug pane. And it's these building blocks you can start creating your own applications from. Here I've got a node that knows how to talk to the Twitter API. It walks me through authenticating the node against my account. And I'm going to tell the node to look for any tweets mentioning the hashtag #FridayFeeling. But because I want to do something with those tweets, I can drag in a node for a Mongo database instance, and I just wire the Twitter node into the Mongo node. I configure the Mongo node to connect to a local database I have running. Again, without a single line of code written. I'm going just to save the tweets into a collection. I hit deploy. That's now collecting tweets in real time. You can see in the debug because the Twitter node's wired into the debug node, but they're also being saved into a database. Node-RED lets you create web APIs. Here I'm dragging on some HTTP nodes because I want to serve up a web page. The HTTP nodes, a template node, and a Mongo query node. As I wire those together, I tell the HTTP node to listen for GET requests on the URL /tweets. The Mongo query node, again pointed at the same database, the same collection, just do its default search to return all the data in that collection. And a template node that lets me generate some richer content that takes the message it's received and renders it somehow. That then wired to an HTTP response node, so when in a new tab I open up the URL of Node-RED followed by /tweets, it then gives me every tweet that's been saved into the Mongo database. So we've stored some data and we've retrieved it and we're starting to present it back without a single line of code written. Now we're going to do something a bit more with those tweets. Here I drag in and drop into the wire a sentiment analysis node. This does very simple sentiment analysis of the tweets, giving it a positive or negative score based on the words that appear in it. And this is a function node, so you can write low-level JavaScript to manipulate the messages if there's not a node that helps do what you want to do. So that function is just going to attach an additional property to each message with the word positive or negative based on the sentiment node provided. Then in my flow that presents the tweets back, I add a function node that attaches a couple properties to the message. One being a message.sort property to tell the Mongo node to sort its query based on the tweet ID and to limit it to only 5 results. So that, in effect, will give me the 5 most recent tweets. And now I'm going to replace that very simple HTML list with a bit more involved HTML page, which has proper CSS styling. Yeah, it's a regular HTML page, but again, it's got the mustache syntax in there to render its content based on the message it's received. I deploy and I go back, and when I refresh, it now gives me the 5 most recent tweets, and you can see the colour, the green bar or the red bar on the left-hand side based on the sentiment of the tweet, with very little code written, with a bit of HTML and CSS. As Node-RED is built on top of Node.js, it can run in a variety of environments. In fact, it now comes pre-installed on the default Raspberry and Jessie image for the Raspberry Pi, and it's also available in the IBM Bluemix catalog as a quick start application, which means you can get going really quickly with Node-RED, whether it's on edge devices or in a cloud environment. To find out more, head on over to nodered.org, where there are links to how to get started, how to get running with Node-RED really quickly. We've got links to our mailing list and Slack channel, and to the ever-growing community of nodes that people are contributing back. Thank you.